Today I'm going to tell you 5 things about your credit score that will help you have a better score and dispel some of the myths that your grandma's been telling you for years. First of all, I've got to start with the most obvious one. Don't make any late payments. I don't know if somebody's ever told you it's okay to make a late payment or how many days it's okay to be late, but I just got to get that out there. The number one thing if you want to have a strong credit score is make your payments on time. If you agree to a loan schedule, you need to make that loan schedule. Don't sign a loan agreement unless you're prepared to handle those payments at the time they need to be made. Number 2, people will tell you that it's better to keep a balance on your credit cards or other loans and then to pay them down slowly with small payments. That is completely false for the most part. Now, I say for the most part because for 90% of scenarios, what you should be doing, especially I'm talking about credit cards here, if you put a balance on your credit card, let's say you have a $1,000 limit and you use up 60% of that and you put $600 on it. Some will tell you put $600 on it and slowly pay it down over time. The best thing for your credit score is actually to keep that paid down so you immediately transfer the funds to pay off your credit card right after you make the charge, or at least make sure that you can stay under 10% of your credit card's limit at all times. Now that is the best way to maximize your credit score increase. I understand that life happens. Sometimes you put a balance on your credit card you can't pay off completely, but the goal would be to pay that off as quickly as possible and to stay under some of those key critical points such as 60 and 30% of your credit card's limit. So do pay down your credit cards every month if you can. I personally did that, and by the time I was prepared to buy my first car or house or things like that, I had a great credit score, and all I had done was charge my credit card and zero it out every single month. So I do recommend you pay down your credit cards every month. Number 3, many people will tell you that you should not open credit cards, or they might even tell you that you should open as many credit cards as you can. The short answer is, generally speaking, I recommend people have 3 credit cards or less. You want to be in that 1 to 3 range. Typically 2 or 3 is ideal. Now sometimes when I'm working with clients on a mortgage and they might have a score that's just under a requirement for a certain loan type, my software will actually recommend that they open 1 more credit card account, and within 30 days they'll have jumped anywhere from 10 to 30 points in many scenarios. So having the right number of accounts that are in good standing on your report can make a huge difference. Now, of course, you don't want to have 3 credit cards and then max them all out. That's 3 bad marks on your credit. But if you've got 3 accounts, let's say you're only using 1 of them, and the other 2 are just existing accounts that you never swipe the card for, that's a great scenario to be in because you've got 3 accounts reporting on your bureaus showing on-time payment history and low balances. Number 4 is self-reported accounts. You might not know what that is, but in some cases people are reporting things such as their utilities, their rent, or even their Netflix accounts onto their credit bureaus manually. This means that Netflix doesn't report to your credit bureaus normally, but you can manually request that some of those types of regular payments are reported on your bureaus. The goal of this is that individuals are trying to show that they're making on-time payments for those accounts in order to help their credit scores climb faster and show a better history. While that is technically true that it does report on-time payments on your account and show a history, it only reports to a very specific type of credit report. And that particular credit report happens to be one that is not allowed for mortgage transactions and many other secured loans. So it is not recommended that you manually report some of those accounts on your bureaus, since it will not have an impact on the main credit reports that are used for mortgages and other loan types. Number 5, I could spend an entire video just on this topic alone. The truth about inquiries on your credit report. Just about every time that I'm working with a customer to get them ready for a home purchase, they'll ask me in the application phase, will this be a hard inquiry? Will this impact my score? I've got to address this once and for all here. Yes, all inquiries are hard inquiries beyond what is typically happening by pre-screened companies. Now, I do have the ability to do a soft inquiry if we are simply trying to get a generalized idea of what your credit score is or what we need to work on way in advance of the time you actually want to apply for a mortgage. But a soft inquiry won't be allowed for a pre-qualification, won't be allowed to actually get a mortgage, And same thing for auto loans and many others. So yes, you will get a hard inquiry when you apply for a mortgage, but here's the key point you need to remember. Most people do not understand that you are actually permitted inquiries without large penalties to your score. For instance, you have a 30-day window where you can have other mortgage inquiries and they will not impact your score negatively. So if you've had your credit pulled by another mortgage broker or loan officer recently, it is completely allowable for you to contact me, give an application, and I can pull your credit report and give you an overview from my perspective and give you my own scenarios for comparison. This will not impact your score as long as you stay within that 30-day window of time from when the initial report was pulled. Now, this is only in related inquiries. So if you have a mortgage inquiry, it will be different from a car loan inquiry or a credit card or other loan types. So you need to know which category you're in. And another point on inquiries, how much does an inquiry actually drop your score? I do not have an exact answer for you, and it is different for each customer's bureau. Generally speaking, you do want to avoid inquiries on your credit report. But one inquiry I have seen personally in my experience, I have seen anywhere from a 1 to 10 point drop on a customer's bureau, usually in the range of that 5-point mark. So I don't have a hard statistic about that. I'm just telling you from my experience of pulling people's credit for 6 years or so, that generally speaking, you will see a very minimal impact from an inquiry. And if you establish a new account, then the payment history of that account will quickly climb your score higher than it was before any inquiry anyways. So don't be afraid of getting your credit pulled as long as you have intention of actually opening an account and carrying a loan on time payments throughout the life of it. Make sure you reach out to me, mortgagezach.com, for free quotes. I'd also love it if you would like and subscribe or comment on this to help me find more viewers that can give me advice on what types of content I can make to answer your biggest questions. Thanks.